Headed to a new gym. Actually, not a new gym, an old gym. So I'm at school, so I've got 3 gyms at my disposal. Technically 4, but I haven't really gone to that other one. I don't know. I think I should actually look into it. It's pretty close. But I've got the school rec center, which is pretty good. A lot of machines. All the boys are there. Honestly, that's the college rec center. That is the gym which I have had the highest concentration of dogs. Like dudes who every day I actually go up to, dap them up. I want to know what their lift is. I want to know how their pump's going. Shit like that. That is just nice. That is really cool to have. And if you've got a gym like that with a lot of regulars, and maybe you haven't been chatting with them that much, maybe your gym is pretty kind of quiet. Everybody does their workout, they have their headphones in, and that's the end of it. I think you're missing out. You should go up to them, say some shit. I mean, if your gym's full of, I don't know, just people who really don't want you to fuck with them, then, well, you never know until you try. Maybe you go up to them, hey man, what are you hitting, dude? You're sitting on a bench next to them on the free weights. Hey man, maybe they're just a yapaholic, but they saw you had headphones in, they didn't want to talk to you. I guess I'm really just saying it's cool when you actually know the dudes or the girls. I'm not going to disparage who you're lifting around, but yeah. So that's the college rec center. Pretty good amount of machines, cool bars, racks, cables, whatever. Can be a little bit packed though. Can be a little bit packed, but it's like 2 minutes away from where I live. Very good benefit. I always go there for cardio in the morning, unless I'm really busy and I want to, just do cardio in the basement. Well, the first floor of the apartment on a little cardio bike. So that's gym number 1. Gym number 2 is, well, it's pretty much right next to this one that I'm headed to, Planet Fitness. Nothing wrong with Planet Fitness. I don't know, I just haven't gone to Planet Fitness for a while. The one, yeah, it gets a little bit hit or miss for me sometimes, because if a Planet Fitness is full, like if it's, 6 o'clock p.m. or like 6 or 5 or, whatever, and they're actually busy, then, if you're going to bust out your tripod, you're actually asking for trouble. Maybe not legit trouble, but, I've been shut down at Planet Fitnesses before. Not that they're being mean. I mean, it's just like, it's not necessarily their targeted demographic at a Planet Fitness. A fucking approaching a freak just walking around with a tripod talking to himself. I can understand it. But usually they're pretty cool. But Planet Fitness, depending on the lift, I actually don't mind it. I'd say Planet Fitness is perfect, absolutely perfect for arms. Arms at Planet Fitness as well as shoulders, perfect gym. Back, pretty good too. Lat pull down, cable rows, a variety of back machines too. Smith machines, you can do some bent over rows if you want. Back, pretty solid. Chest gets a little bit more constrained because you've got the only heavy pressing movement you got at your disposal is the incline Smith. Sometimes I want to do incline dumbbell. They've only got 75s. Now, if that's within your working weight range, good for you. You can make as many gains at Planet Fitness as you want. But I definitely think you can kind of outgrow it chest-wise. But, if I like incline Smith on that day, and then I just want to do some pec deck and cable flies and cable presses, it's perfect. Legs is pretty good there too. Usually they've got a seated and a laying hamstring curl, plus leg extensions. If I want, I'll do Smith machine squats, but sometimes I just kind of spam the leg extension, superset it with body weight sissy squat combo. It's kind of a classic leg day that I like. So yeah, so enough of that. That's pretty good. This gym as well, pretty good. Tons of old equipment. They're actually adding some new shit. I think there's a lot of stuff that's kind of in the works. Like there's new racks that are being added, but they kind of have to like fuck with the ceiling tiles because it's like a rogue rack system, so it's kind of gonna cut into the ceiling. I guess maybe somebody should have measured that out. I think there's a hack squat there now too. Yeah, maybe I should actually head over here more often. But another huge benefit, 24 hours, 24-hour operation. So for me on days like today where, oh my goodness, I think I brought this up before. I am totally sick. My system is totally infected with something. I don't feel like shit or anything, but I can like just feeling, dude, lymph nodes. That's a blueberry. That is a blueberry in there for sure. I've got some kind of something messing with me. I can tell it's making me more lethargic. So I definitely get a lot of rest today. Apart from class and a little bit of schoolwork, it was mainly get up, eat, back to bed. Eat, back to bed. Not like dead asleep. Of course, I was just playing on my phone. But yeah, I definitely want to get over this. If it doesn't clear up in a couple days, I'll just get some antibiotics or something. I kind of feel like this is probably stupid, but I feel like I kind of want to just let my body fight it off on its own. It's like, don't give me the medicine. I don't want it. I can handle it. But that just might be a brutish guy thing, and maybe I'd be better off with a little bit of some kind of something. I don't know what antibiotics are called. But other than that, oh fuck, what was I even about to say? Yeah, 24 hours, lots of good equipment, old school vibe. This one's pretty good. I'm sure it'll be nice to be in here just because it's been a while. It'll have a little bit of nostalgia factor. I think I haven't gone here in a few months. Another added benefit of going to different gyms is there's just different cliques, you know? Like I'll run into different people. People I see at this gym, I never see at the College Rec Center. And same thing with the Planet Fitness. I will say I'm definitely more likely to run into cooler people at more serious gyms and not as much at like a P-Fit. Not saying it doesn't happen though, I'm just kind of making a little bit of an observation. But oh, I haven't even talked about what the lift is going to be. It's back. So for back, I am planning on doing a lift which will follow the following. Let's just say it'll hit the following criteria. I want to do some lighter, not lighter, but like moderate weight rows on either the seated cable or a machine, and really squeeze. Like I can tell a lot of my rows, uh, I do lift a lot of weight and I have a ton of tension on my lats, which I do like. Like I like a set of cable rows where I'm throwing around the whole stack and I'm just destroying my back, and I'm getting to the point where I can barely do any partials. I really do like that. I feel like it gives me a lot of fatigue, a lot of tension, partials in the stretched position, right? Let me try to think of a couple other buzzwords that make it sound cool. But, a really heavy set with partials, I like those. But I definitely noticed that my back gets more pumped, or at least I get a decent pump for sure, when after maybe a few sets like that, where I really load up the weight, load up a ton of tension on whatever I'm hitting. If after that I back off on weight a little bit and really focus on squeezing, like I could do 2 sets of pull downs where, I throw the whole stack around, like add a plate, add like as much weight as I can do for, 15 reps, maybe 5 partials at the end, and then go lighter and really squeeze. Like it almost feels, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a cool way to describe it. It's like when it's probably easiest to think of a dumbbell curl. If you're sitting here with whatever weight for curls, you can do the motion. You can go from back and forth like this. But with a lot of my reps, especially with the lighter sets where I'm trying to focus on squeezing, I want to do the rep, of course, but when I get to the squeezed position, for a bicep curl, it would be here. For a row or pull down, it'd be back here. Leg extensions, it would be when my leg is fully straightened. Right? When I get to that fully contracted position, I want to get a little extra squeeze, just a little extra push. Even if it doesn't look like I'm actually moving the weight any further, that extra little squeeze is noticeably going to affect the pump that I get. Plus, the sets just feel more fatiguing. Not that I want to make my sets as difficult as possible for difficulty's sake, but if I do a set of dumbbell curls to failure, right? Let's say I go as heavy as I can go, and I don't try to squeeze it on top, maybe I could get 15 reps, just kind of throwing the weight around. But if I be a little bit more methodical with it, and I get that extra squeeze on top, and I get that extra squeeze every rep, then maybe I'll hit failure at 10 reps, you know? So you gotta think, those reps are more effective. Each one is doing more damage. I'm expending more energy because I hit failure quicker, you know? That's kind of making me think that I want to chill out on my really heavy, quick sets of bench. I noticed this a couple chest days ago. Usually, I work up to my top set with the warm ups, and then that first set is the first set really heavy, and I'm just throwing it around, and I get a ton of tension on my pecs. I mean, I'll start to get pumped up after 2 sets, but I definitely noticed that I really like the feeling of doing, a couple of working sets on incline Smith and going real slow and controlled. So, not that I think that is, guaranteed a better method, but it definitely adds to the idea that I want my training to be diverse. I don't want each lift to be the same as the last one. Not only in exercise selection, but, in set execution, right? Like, even if I did, so let's say I did the same back day, next back day. 2 sets of pull downs, 2 sets of machine rows, a set of pullover, and then another kind of row. Right? Let's say I do all those lifts today with as much weight as I can handle. Just throw it all around. Right? That's cool. Now let's fast forward to the next back day. I can do the same. Oh my goodness! Exercise selection. Right? The same pull downs, rows, pullovers, other row, whatever. But if rather than throwing around the weight as like the main variable that I'm trying to max out, instead I go a little bit more conservative with the weight and focus on really squeezing as hard as possible, I would consider that a totally different lift. Even if the reps were, the same. Even if I did 12 reps with a lighter weight really squeezing, or I did 12 reps with a heavy weight kind of throwing it around, just by doing it in that different way, I would consider that a completely different back day, you know? So I guess really what I'm trying to say is make sure you change your shit up at least a little bit. Not that I think you have to shock the muscle, and like if you zoomed in on my freaking lats, they would say to you, holy, I've never done this before, fuck, I'm gonna grow. Oh, he's shocking me. Not that I think that exactly, but, it would make sense. The whole point of your body, I mean, as a species, we're pretty fucking up there in terms of adapting to stress. So if you do the same workout with the same intensity and the same reps and the same weight day after day, you're not going to make any gains from that, because you're going to reach a point in your build where, okay, I'm used to this, I can handle this. This is just normal, right? Like the dude who just fucking wakes up every day, who does his business, comes back home, he's not making any gains because he's not stressing his system. The whole point of going into the gym and doing your little workout is to fucking give your body a stimulus where it says, holy shit, I gotta deal with this. I gotta go home, sleep, and put all this shit back together. And fuck. If he's gonna keep hitting my lats like this, I better toughen them up, make them bigger and stronger so they can handle it. Obviously, it's not like your lats are thinking like that, but that's a pretty good way to visualize it in your mind. I almost feel like that's kind of a motivating factor. Like even just thinking about it now, it's like I almost want to go into the gym and think to myself, all right, I want to hit my lats as differently and as crazily as I ever have before, to ensure that once I go home and get to bed, that they're going to have to do some serious recovering, So whatever you got to do, whatever you have to think about to get into that zone of wanting to demolish whatever muscle you're going to target that day, do it. Watch watch some Gojo hype TikTok edits, get in the zone, and say, "Holy shit, come on!" and then do whatever you're gonna do. So, still a couple of minutes out, but let's just get over there and get started. I already know that the gym is gonna be completely dead, which sometimes I like, sometimes I don't like. It's been a while since I've been in an empty gym, so I'm sure I'm gonna take advantage of having all the equipment at my disposal. But that's all I got, man. Let's get started. I might have to do a little bit of a noise reducer. I love this gym, but they play the music so loud. I mean, fuck. I mean, you get if I see everybody wearing headphones and everybody can hear the gym's music through their headphones, I think it means it's a little too loud. But apart from that, well, I mean, not even apart from that, it's not going to affect the pump. So whatever. It just might affect my ears because it'll make me play my music louder. But I've already kind of warmed up, did a couple of curls. I'm going to have some bicep activation just by the nature of a movement of a row or a pull down. You are going to activate a little bit of this. Wearing some straps, potentially wearing some hostile padded straps. I'm not going to say you can't get a back pump without them, but I can tell with certainty when I do a back day with straps, my forearms come into play so much less. I don't have to focus on squeezing the fucking handle. Honestly, I don't even have to focus on squeezing it at all. The amount of pressure that I have to kind of put through my fingers to lock the straps in, it's like negligible. So rather than feel like I'm pulling through my hands, which is going to make you use your biceps and your forearms more, I feel like I'm pulling my elbows downward and the handle just happens to be connected to my hands. That's kind of a cue that I feel like when you've gotten better and better at actually like specifically activating your lats, that's what you're really thinking about, you know? But enough of that. Let's just throw the stack around. I might sit here for a few sets, or if I only want to do one, then I'll just do one, see how it feels. Okay. Okay. One more just like that. Okay. Okay. Oh, God. I think I can do one more set. A little bit lighter than that first one for sure. But I'm going to grab way wider on the handle. Those first two heavy sets, I was about shoulder width, which I do feel a lot of lats, but grabbing wider, I do feel a little bit of a crazier stretch. Yeah, so let's do one more moderate weight set, really focus on squeezing, and then move on to, some kind of row or something. Ugh. 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 Okay. All right. I think that's enough pull downs for now. Let's go over to a row machine and bust some out over there. I've got a little bit of a on and off relationship with this row. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Did a couple of warm up reps, but I think it'll feel pretty good today. So a moderate weight, but when I do these reps, when I get to the top, I'm seriously focusing on just like trying to pull the back of my shoulders, like my rear delts, together and have them touch. Obviously, it's not fucking possible, but that's the cue I'm imagining. Same thing with my elbows. Okay. Fuck. Oh. One more. Oh my god. Okay. That's enough here. Let's move on to something else. We're getting close to done. All right, relatively light set of cable rows here. Same style as that machine. Really control it. Good squeeze. And then I think we're done. I'll see how I feel at the end of it, but I feel pretty sufficiently pumped. And fatigued, of course. Yeah. Actually, fuck it. Let's jump straight into a fucking superset of single arm pullovers. And then we can call it done. Okay. All right. Now let's go check the back pump. Okay, how many sets was that exactly? I think 6. Nothing crazy. And I didn't even do anything fucking nuts either. It was just a couple pull downs, a couple of rows, a little bit of a superset in there at the end, just kind of for kicks, to make sure that the last set, I mean, I kind of do this anyway. Sometimes on the last set of back, I'll make it a little bit of a superset of rows and pull downs and a lat bias movement, just so I can really know that I fully pumped up my upper back, mid traps and stuff, and my lats. So when I come to a pump check, everything is fucking inflated and full of blood. So let's see how we're looking. Oy. For anybody curious, I guess this is kind of unrelated to the back pump, but earlier today when I was doing cardio, one of my buddies has a dynamometer. So once I finished cardio, I was kind of fucking shooting shit with him. Left hand grip strength, 205 pounds. Right hand, 197. Any of you arm wrestler guys might be interested in that number. For anybody else, it's just kind of random and arbitrary. But, dude, fuck. They certainly feel pretty fucking pumped. Oh my goodness. Let's actually run through some poses. Oh, oh. Dude, it's fucking hard to hold a back pose when your back is pumped. Because when you do it, when you're fucking activating your traps and everything else to pull your arms backwards like that. Oh my gosh. Let's see, what's another good one? Oh, I can't tell if I did that one right, but who cares? Back and nice and pumped. Feels rather bulbous. I feel like Bulbasaur, man. I got a fucking turtle shell. But now I get to go home and eat, chill. For you, though, not headed straight to the car clip. You are going straight to Kroger. You're gonna see what kind of sweet treats I got earlier on the grocery trip. Okay, so technically, this is actually the pre-lift grocery trip, since I kind of had a bit of a, let's just call it a miscalculation in terms of my day schedule. So this is just whatever. But I've been gone for the whole weekend. A lot of my, well, for one thing, I just haven't gone to the grocery for a while. But a lot of my food is already, bad. I got to replenish. I got to fill up the kitchen. The last thing I want to do is be strapped for food at like, 11 p.m. at night, not hit my, calorie surplus, wake up lighter the next day. The name of the game with bulking is calorie intake. So as much as I can do to make sure that I get as much food as possible into my system at the end of every day on a consistent basis, the better. That's what's really going to be setting me up for long-term growth, long-term success. So I feel like this is always the start of my freaking grocery trips. The fucking milk aisle. Personally, I kind of, well, I'm not going to say I'm not lactose intolerant, but I can tolerate, whatever gallons upon gallons of milk does to me. So I guess I am lactose tolerable. But not only am I going to drink the whole milk, that's usually getting mixed in with cereal, or if I want to do a shake, if you add milk, I mean, that's just an easy 500 calories. Because what, it's 240 per cup? Oh, shit. 150 per cup. Okay, well, an easy 300 extra calories. I think anybody can drink 2 cups of milk. You could do that in like a second just because you're thirsty. And that'll counteract the 300 calories of daily cardio, at least, which you should be doing per day. Obviously, I need to get myself a little treat as well. So that pretty much covers the dairy consumption. Well, I don't know. Actually, not totally. As we're walking over here, we're headed towards where I always pick up a couple of bagels and cream cheese. I'm not going to say it tastes awesome. Actually, let's backtrack a little bit. I kind of want a thing of lemonade for the workout. Oh, yeah, here we go. This will be nice. I'm sure by the time the lift is over, that should be empty. But no, I do kind of a absurd amount of cream cheese in the bagels. So, one bagel with some cream cheese, that can add up to like 600 calories. That is not nothing. That is not nothing for sure. So, all right. Last pack of blueberry. Perfect. And then actually, no, I've got cream cheese at home. I don't need any of that. You thought I would miss this? Are you fucking crazy? Oh, okay, well. I guess it is the Christmas season. whatever. Honestly, that's pretty much starting to cover most of my treats. Now, I mean, I'm gonna have to head over get some beef and whatnot, but I need some electrolyte mix as well. Honestly, I've been slacking when it comes to my hydration. I need to get back on my routine of right in the morning having like not a gallon, but like a half a gallon worth of, some kind of electrolyte mix plus some aminos. The Hostile Silo 9, or I do love getting some, just random electrolyte packs. I'll kind of get a couple different varieties, but always a good addition. So let's just head over to the deli and see what kind of meats they have. I'll probably stop and get some other kind of sweets too, but I don't know, maybe not. I've already got a ton of rice, like instant rice packets at home, so I'm pretty much covered when it comes to carb sources. All I need now is protein though. My little the little drawer where I keep all my ground beef and steaks and stuff, it is empty. And I've got nothing wrong with eggs and protein powder, some Hostile ISO H1, but I've been doing primarily red meats for a while, and I really do feel like I can feel a difference. I mean, be it the, I don't know, high amounts of iron or the animal fats and the cholesterol and whatever else. Just something about it I really do like. So let's see if I can fit my way in over there. So there's a ton of pork and chicken, whatever else. I don't know. I don't love the pork just because, well, I don't know, maybe just because I've never bought it. But chicken, I have been hearing murmurs that prepping it in the sous vide is fucking sweet. Because then you can have like 5 pounds of chicken pretty much just done like that. You won't even have to finish it on the in the stove or on the grill. I mean, there we go. About 2 pounds of ground beef should do the trick. Plus, when I'm bulking, I definitely tend to grab ribeyes more often, but they're almost a little bit too fatty. Like it gets a little bit, it's almost a little bit too much. Like I do like them, so I'll still grab one, but I think I want a little bit of a leaner meat or a leaner cut just because it'll kind of go down easier. Yeah. Top sirloin ought to do the trick. I think I'll get one more. I would love to find a flank steak right now if there is one. Yeah, fuck it. One more ribeye. So we're nearly done now. Let's head over to the bakery. Because one thing I've kind of been doing is a little bit of a side dish. Whoops. Is I've been loving cut up baguettes with olive oil and salt and red peppers. I mean, I can just sit there and eat half a baguette with like 40 grams of olive oil. Like nothing. And that's, let me do the math. Freaking 300 calories of carbs plus, yeah, that's like 600 calories. When it comes to food, I mean, I think you guys need to take a step back and kind of understand that like chicken or rice or sandwiches or hamburgers or fucking treats and sweets and ice cream. Actually, that reminds me to go back and get some ice cream. At the end of the day, that is all food, the carbs, fats, and proteins. So there's nothing inherently special about any of them. In a bulking context, if you want to gain weight, obviously it's probably going to be in your best interest in a muscle building context to get your gram per pound of protein in with high quality sources of protein. I will say that I'm much more picky with my protein sources than I am with anything else. I want some proteins that are high up on the, whatever they call it, protein grading scale. Milks, eggs, meats, fish, chicken, stuff like that. But when it comes to sweets and whatever else, I'm a little bit less picky. I don't mind a whole tub of ice cream or like a ton of Gatorade or, whatever, because that's all just carbs and fats. And then in a dieting context, you just got to eat less, and this is, well, I guess I do realize it, but it's still hard for me to grasp how disconnected people are from that reality. You know, like if you're not losing body fat and you think you're on a diet, it doesn't mean that you're a one in a fucking trillion outlier and dieting doesn't work for you. It just means that you're eating too many calories. And that's not fun. It's not fun to diet down. It's hard. Your body is literally telling you, okay, you got to eat more food. You're fucking hungry. So that's where some mental toughness is going to come into play. But same thing if you can't gain weight. It's not because you're a total genetic outlier. It's really just you're not eating enough food. And I don't care how much food you say you're eating. If the scale isn't changing, then obviously it's just not enough. So if you want to get big on chicken and rice and broccoli and that's your deal, then do it. Badass. But really, any way that you can change the scale, be it fucking, ice cream and sweets or fucking candies, or like a protein shake with 8 Reese's cups blended in with 3 cups of whole milk. If you can get enough calories in to gain weight, then I think you just got to do what you got to do. So that's the main point I'm trying to make there. Whatever diet that you got to stick to, assuming you actually follow the calories in, calorie out logic, whatever works for you, shit, man, spam it, right? That's the whole point. If it works, it works. But by that same logic, if it doesn't, it doesn't. And you got to change something up. But I assume that was a pretty badass pump. But for me, I got to go back home, unload all this shit, take my pre, and then get in the car to go see it. So I guess let's just cut to me in the future talking about how that actual lift went. All right, not my absolute gnarliest back day, but a solid, I would call, progressive back day. It's definitely stimulated all sorts of pulling movements, or all sorts of pulling muscles on my rear torso. I mean, that's the whole point, man. Every day do some shit, progress. When I'll bring this up every so often because I do get this comment a lot. It's like, what are your goals, man? What's the point of all this? What's why the hell are you doing all this shit? And I've covered this before. It's because I like it. I found a thing where, oh shit, all right, I like doing this. And then not only do I like doing it, but it gives me, it almost gives me dividends. Get to walk around jacked, which is pretty cool. Just get to have a thing that I'm proficient at. Who doesn't fucking want to be the best? And I don't mean that like a LeBron James, like, I want to be number 1 in the world. Like, not that kind of shit. It's like, even when you're a kid, it's just hardwired in your brain, right? Everybody wants to be the dude who kicks the kickball over the fence. Everybody wants to be the dude who, when they draw something in art class, the teacher holds it up and says, guys, this is what you should be doing. Shit like that. You're just hardwired in your mind, even subconsciously, you don't even have to think about it, where to be good at something, some kind of legit skill, right, that's just gonna make you feel good. That's a satisfactory experience. So if you don't have anything like that, if you kind of have like an aimlessness that you feel a lot, where you go to work, you go to school, you play your games every day, you hang out with some buddies or whatever, honestly, I mean, that's not fulfilling enough. That's not enough. At least, I don't think it's enough. You've got to have something extra, that kind of supersedes anyone else's opinion or anybody else's thoughts. You got to have something for you, which you can work on for a long time. And I'm not saying that you have to find it immediately, but, I think if you have that kind of aimlessness, and honestly, I think a lot of people in, my demographic, fucking youths, I feel like a lot of them have that. You don't have you don't have a thing. You just kind of float around. You exist. And I think if you have that kind of aimlessness, that should be a call to action to at least start, I don't know, looking for something. If you want cool shit to happen to you, then you've got to do shit. You got to at least go, try whatever, right? If you like, I don't know what you might like. If you like digital, if you like music or whatever, fucking download a free, uh, download a free DAW and start trying to make beats or something, or just whatever, right? You're never gonna know if you don't try. I think I just got lucky because it didn't take me long to find some shit where I'm like, okay, I want to do this every day, every year, for years on end. So I got a little bit lucky. Quick, something about it had a quick connection between, well, I don't know. For me, with all this lifting stuff, I think it's just a combination of aptitude as well as, enjoyment. So something about it. It's not a challenge for me to just get up, go to the gym, have a crazy lift, come home, and be happy with it. I'm honestly, I'm happy if that's my whole day, and the rest of it I just get to chill, or just do whatever I have to do. So if you can find something like that, it doesn't have to be lifting, but obviously since I'm talking about it in a video, I'm gonna circle it around to lifting. If you can find something like that, then that is gonna put you on a good track to you know contentment. I mean, you got to do something. You can't just float around. I feel like Joey Diaz. You know, anybody who doesn't do nothing, they don't do nothing. Now, unlike Joey Diaz, I'm not going to say, do heroin, but you get what I'm saying. Everybody has some kind of itch for some kind of something, and it's your responsibility to find out what that is. It's not just going to get handed to you for sure, or else everybody would be walking around honky-dory. Well, I get to do what I want every day, and it's fun. I mean, you might have to take a look at your own situation and think, okay, I better change some shit up. And that might not just be like, okay, I better find something to do, or I think a lot of it is about your attitude too. How you kind of perceive yourself, others, and whatever, it's gonna determine a lot about how you feel, and that's gonna reflect almost directly with, what you do and how well you do it. Are you where you are because of how you act, or are you acting how you act because of where you are? Like if you have kind of like I don't want to do that. Fuck that. I don't want to try any of that. Hey man, you should come to the gym with us, dude. Come on, we're all going. I'm just gonna stay home, man. Nah. Doesn't sound like that guy's gonna get anywhere. At least in a lifting context. I kind of feel a little bit like I feel like I'm magnifying the whole world into whether people lift or they don't lift. But no, you get same thing with anything, man. Hey, dude, come on with us to go do whatever. Come with us to. I don't want to. Nah, I don't want to. Not cool. Not cool. If you got more interest and enthusiasm for whatever you're doing, you're just gonna have a better time. I mean, don't forget, you only got so much time on the clock, right? Time is freaking ticking. So if you've got a little something that you might think that you maybe need to be started to do, I feel like I just had an aneurysm. If there's something that you think that you want to start doing, time is against you. So you should kind of use that as a little bit of a motivator to just start sooner rather than later. And the more often that you say, yeah, I'll do it later, I mean, yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. So I think that's all I gotta say about that. It's my little call to action speech. But getting back to the lift, I like those pull downs. Honestly, there was another guy floating around in there. I should have gone up to him and asked him for a spot. I like standard pull downs on my own, but I really like assisted pull downs where, let's say I get to rep 10 and I start to, not be able to pull the bars deep, rather than maybe getting my nose height, I can only get to like the brim of my hat height, and then the top of my head height on those partials. If I can have a guy grab onto the bar and push it down those extra few inches, something about the burn with those assisted partials I just really love. Yeah, I should have done that. But those rows felt pretty good. Honestly, they like the rowing machine. I like that one, but really it's a little bit too funky. Like something about the angle, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. When you do a hammer strength row, you're kind of rowing up in like an arch, like the bar is moving like this and up towards your shoulders, if you can imagine. But with that one, it was kind of like a downward sweep. Like I'm pulling down like this into the row. And I don't know, something about that did not really rub me the right way. I felt a lot of fatigue on my mid traps. Like I could get a really good stretch, but the contraction honestly wasn't really there. Like I could feel it, of course, but it didn't really get my whole upper mid back. It was kind of mainly, it felt like just the top of my lats and a little bit of the lower traps. That's where I felt the most activation. That's probably why I wanted to do that last set of seated rows, just because I know that's a rowing movement which is going to really bias my upper back. I wasn't thinking about that consciously when I made that exercise choice, but I guess subconsciously I was like, all right, this is what I know I want to do to really finish off the back day. Well, now all I gotta go home is, or now all I gotta do is go home, eat some treats, probably have one of those steaks plus a baguette, maybe half a baguette, some olive oil, some salt, pepper flakes. I have an abundance of laundry. It's frankly disturbing how much room how much room in my room is just taken up by clean, unfolded laundry. Could be worse. It could be dirty, but I'm fucking like. I guess I'm kind of making excuses. Obviously, today I just slept all day. I could have done it whenever, but I keep getting into this rut of like, okay, I should do it. Oh crap! But I also got to do this. Then I kind of just put it off. Not ideal. Not freaking ideal. But other than that, this week I've got a couple of loose ends to tie up assignment wise. I think I brought this up earlier. That is going to take a little bit of direct effort. But once it's over, I get a solid, yeah, shit, almost 2 months, months and a half. Well, I'm taking an online class over January, but that's only going to take maybe 45 minutes a day that's going on. So that's like nothing. Then I've got that whole time to just focus on downing my food. I am fucking light today. Shit. Oof. Over these next 3 days, I'm definitely going to pack on the weight, get back to my fully bulked state. I'm not so concerned with this little blip, considering it is just the start of the bulk. But now I'm locking into my legit 5,000 calorie days. I gotta make sure that intake does not fluctuate in the slightest, at least going below. So every day, the gas tank of my body is gonna burn that many. Well, let's say every day that my gas tank has to be filled up with 5,000 calories, and I do not want to miss a single day. And then, assuming I hit that mark, we're gonna turn into a freak in no time. Absolutely freaking no time at all. So plan for tomorrow is probably just going to be, I might throw some buys in too. Nothing crazy, but maybe just like some 30s or something. So that'll be a full arm pump, and then definitely going to add some forearms too. I might chill out on the back of my forearms, like this kind of shit. These little, oh, that's kind of funky right there. All this, but I really want to build up this bottom part, way down here. Like I want that to be absolutely awe-inspiring of a forearm. If you want some hype to see just how crazy forearms can look, I got 2 words for you: Lee Priest. Whoa! Holy shit! I guess in a more recent sense, Ramon Dino. But something, since he's like a tall dude, the proportions make his forearms look a little bit more normal, even though they are bigger than your calves. They're probably bigger than my calves too. Holy shit. There's freaks out there, man. Try to catch up to them in any way you can. And I think that's all I gotta say. I think this ended up being a long one too. We're back to regularly scheduled clips, at least until the next, trip to wherever, when I've got to record some of these in advance. But full day of eating, it will happen. I am a little bit busy for the next little while, so it might not happen this week. But don't worry, I'll get you a couple as this bulk progresses. I'm sure you'll love to see what kind of random treats I throw down the gullet. So now all I gotta do is go home, probably sit in the shower for a while, get a little bit decongested. I would love a sauna or like a steam room. That would do me good right now, but what are you gonna do? So, down my vitamins, meal, probably another meal as well, get some rest, and then tomorrow, do all my normal shit. Arms in the evening, cardio in the morning, obviously. We'll just leave it at that. And, fuck, man, that's the end of it. Let's keep this bulk running strong. 260 in no time. So, I'll fucking see you next time.